Hi, all my LGBT friends and others. Okay, we're going to continue reading chapter 18, starting with verse 17. Please do remember to vote. This November is so important that you vote. You guys know who I'm voting for, so I don't need to belabor that point. But I do think that Donald Trump is the best person for the position, considering all of the things that Hillary is involved in and her husband. Just not good people in my opinion. Anyway, okay. So even though I have read the Bible and I've read the Greek Septuagint and portions of the Hebrew Masoretic, every time I reread, I learn something new, or at a different time in my life, the Lord will show me different things, and so it's always good to refresh. And I think that the Bible is the best book that's out there ever, and will ever be. So anyway, I always get something out of it. I hope you are too. All right, so we're going to continue chapter 18, verse 17. But the firstling of a cow, or the firstling of a sheep, or the firstling of a goat, thou shalt not redeem. They are holy. Thou shalt sprinkle their blood upon the altar. Thou shalt burn their fat for an offering made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the flesh of them shall be thine, and the wave breast and the right shoulder are thine. And the heave offering of the holy things which the children of Israel offer unto the Lord have I given thee, and thy sons and thy daughters with thee by a statute forever. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord unto the end, to thy seed with thee. And the Lord spoke unto Aaron, Thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any part among them. I am thy part and thy inheritance among the children of Israel. And behold, I have given the children of Levi all the tenth in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they serve, even the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. Neither must the children of Israel henceforth come nigh the tabernacle of the congregation, lest they bear sin and die. But the Levites shall do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they shall bear the iniquity. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, that among the children of Israel they have no inheritance. But the tithes of the children of Israel, which they offer as a heave offering unto the Lord, I have given to the Levites to inherit. Therefore I have said unto them, Among the children of Israel they shall have no inheritance. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Thus speak unto the Levites, and say unto them, When ye take of the children of Israel the tithes which I have given you from them for your inheritance, then you shall offer up a heave offering of it for the Lord, even a tenth part of the tithe. And this is your heave offering, shall be reckoned unto you, as though it were the corn of the threshing floor, as the fullness of the winepress. Thus you shall offer a heave offering unto the Lord of all your tithes which you receive of children of Israel, and you shall give thereof the Lord's heave offering to Aaron the priest. And out of your gifts you shall offer every heave offering of the Lord, of all the best thereof, even the hallowed part thereof of it. Therefore you shall say unto them, when you have heaved the best thereof from it, then it shall be counted unto the Levites as the increase of the threshing floor, and as the increase of the winepress. and you shall eat it in every place, ye and your households. For it is your reward for your service in the tabernacle of the congregation. And you shall bear no sin by reason of it, then ye have heaved it the best of it. Neither shall you pollute the holy things of the children of Israel, lest you die. Okay, chapter 19. The water of separation, the use of it for purification of uncleanliness. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord hath commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring thee a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came yoke. So it's never used, in service of man. And ye shall give her unto Eleazar the priest, that he may bring her forth without the camp, and one shall slay her before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle of her blood directly before the tabernacle of the congregation 7 times. And one shall burn the heifer in his sight, her skin and her flesh and her blood and her dung shall he burn. And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop, scarlet, and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the eve. And he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water, and bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean until the eve. And the man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them up without the camp in a clean place. And it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a water of separation. It is a purification for sin. And he that gathered the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the eve. And it shall be unto the children of Israel and the stranger that sojourneth among them for a statute forever. And just the thought came into my mind that when Christ was on the cross, that he bled both blood and water. Okay. He that touches the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. But if he purified not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean. Whoever touches the dead body of any man that is dead, and purified not himself, defileth the tabernacle of the Lord. And that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of separation was not sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean, and his uncleanliness is yet upon him. This is the law. When a man dieth in a tent, all that come into the tent, and all that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which hath no covering bound upon it is unclean. And whoever toucheth one that is slain with a sword in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. For an unclean person they shall take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification for sin, and running water shall be put therein in a vessel. And a clean person shall take hyssop, dip it in the water, sprinkle it upon the tent, upon all the vessels, upon the persons that were there, upon him that touched a bone, or one slain, or one dead, or a grave. And the clean person shall sprinkle upon the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day. In the 7th day he shall purify himself, and wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and shall be clean at eve. And the man shall be unclean, and shall not purify himself. The soul shall be cut off from among the congregation, because he hath defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water of separation hath not been sprinkled upon him. he is unclean. And it shall be a perpetual statute unto them that he that sprinkled the water of separation so wash his clothes, and he that touches the water of separation shall be unclean until eve. And whosoever the unclean person touches shall be unclean, and the soul that touches it shall be unclean until eve. That ends the reading of chapter 19. So thank goodness that we have Christ in us, who shed his blood and his water in the final sacrifice for us, so that we don't have to be considered unclean. Those of us who have to go to a funeral, for example, or who loses a loved one, or is tending to somebody who's ill or who has been harmed in some way, that you're not considered unclean, that you have Christ in you, so that you are always purified by him. Okay, chapter 20 is the death of Miriam, Moses smiting the rock, bringing forth water, Aaron's death, Eleazar succeeded him. Okay, I'm going to try to read as much as I can, then I'll finish this up because it sounds very interesting. Even today, you can see the rock, and it's in Turkey, that Moses hit with his stick, and it cracked open and water came forth from the rock, and it's still there. It's all gated up. There's a big old fence around the whole area, but you can actually see the rock. You can see where the golden calf was. You can see the top of Mount Sinai. It's still black, okay, from where God touched it. It's still to this day. Anyway, so let me just finish here, and then I will start a new video for chapter 20, and perhaps if I can go on to chapter 21. I'd like to try to get as much of this book done as I can today, as long as my voice holds out. Okay, and all right, so I'll end it here. This will be a little shorter video. All right. Okay, love you guys. Bye.